If it's Thursday, it's time for NSRLA. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Cam Gillens here in the Slingshot TV booth. And tonight, we're bringing you race number 14 of the Downtown Auto Sales National Series. It's the Commonwealth 150 live from Richmond. Richmond Raceway, a racing haven back since 1946, has a rich history rooted in the post-World War II era. Starting as a half-mile dirt track, it's transformed into a thrilling three-quarter-mile oval, earning the titles of both America's longest short track and its shortest superspeedway. Virginia's racing tradition dates back to colonial English times with the Deer Run Hunt Club hosting horse races. Back in 1946, the AAA championship car season kick-started at the newly built Strawberry Hill Raceway. Over the years, Richmond became a vital part of NASCAR, evolving from dirt to pavement in 1968 and then redesigning into its iconic D-shaped configuration in 1988. Then in 1999, a pivotal change occurred when the venue was rebranded as the Richmond Fairgrounds, or from the Richmond Fairgrounds, I should say, to Richmond International Raceway. And today it hosts a modern $30 million infield and 55,000 seats. Some of the greatest NASCAR races have been run here, from battles between Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon going at it in 1997 to Casey Kane's first Cup win back in 2005. Richmond is a rocket-fast challenge to every driver who competes on the three-quarter-mile oval. Racers from NASCAR, IndyCar, and USAC have found that Richmond requires both power and handling. To win here, gotta have it all. Chris, fun fact for the night. In the inaugural NASCAR race here at Richmond, Richard Petty won by lapping the entire field. Well, I don't think we're going to see that kind of dominance tonight. What are drivers going to have to do to stay out of trouble and carry that same kind of speed along with the precision that Petty had back in 1953?
Well, it's race number 2 of the playoffs sees these Downtown Auto Sales National Series drivers go short track racing. And with that, these guys are going to have to be comfortable sliding around and racing in some very close quarters. These drivers have 150 laps around Richmond tonight, with about 85 laps to 90 laps on a tank of fuel. With 4 sets of tires in the pits and no fast repairs, they're going to have to be looking after those tires and looking after those fenders tonight. One more driver, Ellis, has a chance to secure their spot into the championship round of 6. Will it be one of the championship favorites or a sleeper? Short track racing does bring an element of surprise with it, and we might very well be surprised tonight.
Hey, those are going to be some of the stories we're talking about, and we already got some of the chats coming in. Everybody, Doodlebug, Michael Barrier, George Mock, appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to all of you folks at home. We're going to talk about those stories here in a moment, but before we get there, it's time for everyone's favorite Slingshot TV pre-race tradition. Folks, rise and remove those caps if able for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back. All right, back here in the Slingshot TV studio, just moments away from the start of the Commonwealth 150, race number 2 of the playoffs for the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Cam Gillens here in the booth. Now, let's talk about maybe the biggest story to follow tonight, Chris. 2 races left in round number 1 of the playoffs, and the bubble battle is heating up when it comes to the point standings. If you take a look, 6 drivers from these 12 will make it into the final round of 3 races. Chris, who are you nervous for on that bubble right now?
Yeah, I think Mark Hofield, it's easy to say him because he is the last driver currently in right here. But, based upon the points and the speed that we've seen out of those front 4, front 5 right there, I think Mark is probably feeling the most pressure right here. He was very fast last week at Homestead. Unfortunately, didn't have the result to show for it. But, Andy Berry, Ryan Bittler, they're within striking distance of Mark and, Dustin Lewis as well, not too far out right here. So got about 4 or 5 drivers, I think, that are probably feeling a good bit of pressure. Nobody's safe other than Christian Barnes, who secured his playoff or his championship berth, if you will. But some of them are breathing a little bit easier than others.
Do you think we see a driver like Christian Barnes? I'm looking through our list. Christian Barnes is here tonight. Do you think we see a driver like him just kind of let it all hang out tonight?
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. He's already secured his spot, and he's just probably going out here trying to get the W. Nothing really to be gained as far as points go. He's locked himself in. He can't put himself in a better position or anything like that. So, he might possibly try to race a little bit harder tonight. With that, though I say it's a 3-race round, so there is still plenty to be gained for Christian Barnes.
I'll be looking out for all these drivers tonight as they work their way around Richmond for 150 laps. Let's go ahead and talk about the other stories that we're going to be following and that you fans right now watching live on YouTube can follow along at home with us. Chris, you and I raced at Richmond in our own league last night, and rhythm and precision is at the top of our stories list. And I think I was thinking about that last night. I made the comment to myself, and I think to you out loud, I'm starting to get a little sleepy here simply because it's so rhythmic. It's a rhythmic track, and if you break that rhythm, you could be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, it really is a rhythm track, and you find yourself here, it feels like you're just getting slower and slower and slower, and honestly, the drivers that are probably going to be fast on the long run tonight, are drivers who are just interested in being as smooth as they can, trying not to slip up and slip out, so they're probably not going to push things as hard as some of these other drivers who, might get out of the groove a little bit tonight.
And speaking of out of the groove, tire wear is going to be something we're going to be keeping an eye on. Drivers going to have to make sure they're running the best line they possibly can and not really driving too hard on either the front or the back tires. How difficult is it to hang on to tires? I know you and I talked about a couple drivers in pre-race that we're going to be looking out for that we think are really good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacob Cochran, we've talked about him all year being good on the long run. We think Donnie Honeycutt will also be fast tonight here around Richmond. Tire conservation is very, very important here. You want to try to keep that right rear from getting too much more worn out than the right front. I talked to a couple drivers here before we got going, and they said that they were slipping and sliding out there. It felt like they were on ice, and I think that I can confirm that after our race last night, Ellis. It is very slick out there.
Very slick indeed, and we're probably going to have a handful of restarts tonight. Make or break. What do you mean by that? Is that where you're going to be able to get the passing in early?
Yeah, that's definitely the best time to complete a pass. And, if you are, in a good enough position on the outside lane, if you don't get held up by somebody out there, you do have the opportunity to be able to make up some ground on the outside lane. If you can keep that driver on the inside pinned down and kind of control them a little bit, not let them slide up, you can definitely maybe gain a spot or two on the restarts. Definitely easier to pass them then when they're all bunched up than they will be later on. Passing is a little bit difficult here at Richmond. It can be done, but it is a difficult task.
And Highline, if you're going to make that pass, we saw it last night. Highline could be the place to go. Did you have any comfort up there last night?
Well, I wasn't very fast up there last night, but I saw plenty of other drivers who were making speed up there. And I don't think we'll see drivers very fast up there early on. But I think if we get a very long green flag run, I think you'll see a lot of drivers start to migrate up there. It seems like as the tires begin to wear out and as they began to move on, throughout the run, seems like more and more drivers were able to make some speed up there at the top. So, yeah, be definitely interested to see how that transpires tonight here at Richmond with these NSRLA drivers.
Well, with all that being said, it is about time to go trackside as qualifying has concluded, and these drivers are getting ready to take to the grid to get this thing started. Before we do that, though, I want to mention to all the fans watching at home right now, we appreciate you tuning in. Send the link to your friends and family. You got text message, just take that link from your phone. Whatever you're watching on, send it to a friend or family who you think might enjoy this. We are giving away a Kevin Harvick 1/24th scale, the big guy, diecast tonight. Looney Tunes, Tasmanian Devil Car, one of my favorite Kevin Harvick schemes. All you got to do is comment in the chat. We're going to take all the commenters from last night's broadcast and tonight's broadcast, put them in a hat, and we're going to draw out a lucky winner. All your comments count as entries, so the more comments, the better, folks. Keep those comments going. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight or who you just think has got the best shot to win with just 5 races remaining here in the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series. Let's go ahead and throw it down to pit road and take a look at where these drivers are going to be lining up tonight. You can see Evan Janek's going to be starting on the outside of row number 1 second, but on the pole is Travis Bieber. Kind of a surprise. We saw him fast in practice, but he laid down a heater of a qualifying lap. Look out. If he's got track position, he could be one to watch for the win tonight. Jerry Salinas, best qualifying effort of the year. He gets faster and faster, and that number 63 starting third tonight. Mark Cofield, Chris, so much speed last week. We saw him potentially be in a position to win late in the race. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition, but he's starting fourth tonight. Adam Pettit, another winner here in NSRLA. He won the regular season finale at Darlington. He starts fifth. Brett Bieber in the 32 starts sixth tonight on the outside of row 3. Dustin Lewis, if he's going to get to victory lane, he's got to climb 6 positions. He starts 7th. Cody Riggs also averaging a top 10 finish in his first 5 starts in this series this season. He starts 8th. Brandon V's in the 65 machine. Fast in practice, he comes from 9th. Tyler Gbon, that dark horse number 4, will start on the outside of row 5.
And Ellis, before we look at 11 through 20, I just want to say the lap by Travis Bieber, a 10th and a half up on second place, Evan Janik. What a lap for the pole sitter right here. Starting in 11th, Casey Bristow in the number 11 machine. And on his outside, Ryan Bittler is going to roll off from the 12th position. He is one of those playoff drivers that we'll be keeping our eyes on tonight. Donnie Honeycutt has to come from deep in the field. We thought Donnie would be fast here this week, and he still might be fast, but a little bit of a tough qualifying run. He'll roll off 13th. Christian Barnes will start 14th. He's going to come from deep in the field as well. And on the inside of row number 8, another surprise. Jacob Cochran had trouble in qualifying. He's going to roll off 15th with Gino Volante on his birthday starting in 16th. Brock Whiteman will start 17th, and on his outside, Bradley Minor in the number 46. Andy Berry, another one of those playoff bubble drivers, he's going to roll off in 19th. And Michael Cole, he made it, Ellis. He's going to roll off from the 20th position.
And one note to that, Travis Bieber, EOL penalty, Chris, I believe maybe missed the driver's meeting despite laying down a fast lap. Going to be starting at the back of the pack.
Yeah, that's interesting right there. That car, obviously, that driver has a lot of speed, so going to be entertaining to watch him coming up through the field. Got to keep all the fenders on that car, though, through the traffic.
You heard it. Advice from the crew chief, keep all the fenders on the car. I think that advice is going to go out the window as the the pace car makes his way down pit road. Green flag flies for the first time tonight here at Richmond. We are underway in the Commonwealth 150. Janik jumps out to a lead over Jerry Salinas as they climb the banking down into turn number 1. It's Janik in that red and blue machine on the outside line. Salinas fighting back on the inside as they head down into turn 3. Almost gets a little bit of that left rear quarter panel. Side by side now at the line. It's a battle for the lead.
It is Jerry Salinas coming back strong right here. Looking to the inside of Evan Janik. He's narrowing up the entry to turn one. That's definitely a strategy some drivers might take right here. And a little bit of a shortcut down there if you were to do that. But the car will get a little bit of a push in it mid-corner if you do that too much. But put Salinas out to the front. And here comes Adam Pettit to the inside of Evan Janik looking for second.
Great battle for second. Janik and Pettit outside and inside. Pettit, the black and blue machine to the inside, trying to ride that yellow line as closely as he can. Down that Toyota backstretch, Evan Janik on the outside, trying to fight back. Exhaust coming out of the right side of those cars as drivers lift off the throttle, move Pettit up to second place. Janik back to third, and Chris, you mentioned it, Jerry Salinas. Best qualifying effort of the season. We're not used to seeing him up in the front at the lead, but how about that? Give the man his flowers today, right now. Great run going on for Salinas as he started from third and has already climbed his way up to first, Chris.
Yeah, great start for Jerry, and looking really good right there in that 63 car. Have to see if maybe he can keep that car around the yellow line. I think that's definitely going to be the ticket to saving some tire here tonight as we go a little bit deeper in the field right here, looking at some of our drivers we expect to see moving forward right here. You got Donnie Honeycutt in the 22, Jacob Cochran in the 8. There's Christian Barnes, Travis Bieber. All these drivers starting deeper in the field tonight. Going to be putting on a show coming up through the field. Honeycutt is in 8th, and he's under some pressure right here from Jacob Cochran. That number 8 machine trying to take position number 8.
That's a battle for the 8th position. That Callaway machine moves back a spot. Move Jacob Cochran in the number 8 up to the front. Chris, these were two drivers you and I were talking about a little bit before the race started as being guys we're going to be watching on the long run. Watching here, one of the Bieber, Shane Bieber, try to draw a bead on Dustin Lewis, but we're going to be looking to see how these drivers maintain and save their tires as this battle for this position, that is the 7th position. Jacob Cochran, Brandon V's going on right behind the 32 machine. Again, at a short track, these battles are going on all around each other as they cross the line. You can see on board riding now with Jacob Cochran. Look at how pretty that wheel is being held, Chris. Not a lot of movement in that thing.
Yeah, that's good forward bite right there off of turn 2. What I mean by that is that car is really launching, not spinning the tires too much on corner. Oh, some contact right there from Cochran into Brandon V's. Looks like V's had a little bit of an issue, maybe slipped a little bit on the exit of turn 4, put Cochran up ahead of V's and up into the 7th position.
Tyler Gbon had a moment right behind them, nearly an identical moment at the same time. So a couple drivers struggling early here on lap number 9 of 150 at Richmond. Right now, it's all Jerry Salinas, Chris, and he's built quite a lead up over Evan Janik, now up to about 9 car lengths. Jerry Salinas has led nearly every single lap that we've run so far at Richmond. I think a lot of folks watching probably might mark Jerry Salinas as one to watch for the win. Folks, let us know in the chat who you think is going to win this race, whether it's one of your favorites or just one of the drivers you see having a lot of speed right now. Let us know. Every comment enters you in to win that Kevin Harvick 124th scale Tasmanian Devil Looney Tunes die cashing seat up the top right-hand part of the screen. Watching Mark Cofield and a couple other cars struggle through here. And Chris, for all the fans who are seeing that exhaust fire out of the right side of those cars, what is happening there? Explain that to maybe the uninitiated fan at home.
Oh, man, as these two get really close down the front stretch right here. Brandon V sideways. They make some contact. Donnie Honeycutt going to hold on to it. Great job of driving right there by those competitors right there. You're going to see a lot of that tonight, Ellis. You're going to see a lot of fire out of these exhausts tonight. What that is, that signifies the drivers are off throttle or maybe easing back into the throttle. Mostly just off throttle right here. You can see as they enter turn 1 right here, all the cars do it because they all have to let off for the corner. And there's a lot, Ellis, and you know this from last night, as Christian Barnes gets a little bit of the wall right there off of turn 2. There's a lot of part throttle here at Richmond. You're not really full throttle until you're almost on the straightaway here. So we're going to see a lot of that tonight, especially under the lights here. That raw fuel in the exhaust showed up with them flames right there.
Great explanation. Thank you for that for our fans at home watching. Brandon V's lead kind of this pack of 8 or 9 cars. Donnie Honeycutt's got to be careful not to get into the back bumper of them as they sail it off into turn number 3 and 4. And you have to imagine Honeycutt. Here comes Barnes. Now Honeycutt's been held up enough where Barnes is coming to the picture. Barnes is, after starting near the back, has been able to pick up several spots, Chris. And you can see that car locked in the bottom. Brandon V's really struggling to keep that thing down on that yellow line here. Now 15 laps in. As Christian Barnes works his way by, that's for the 8th position, and now V's is able to slide back in front of the rest of the pack. Donnie Honeycutt seems to be the biggest loser on that exchange.
Yeah, Donnie Honeycutt hung up on the outside right here, getting passed by, that's the 23 car of Travis Bieber. Cody Riggs coming up right here, looking to the inside. Yeah, Ellis, that onboard shot from Christian Barnes, you mentioned it, how he was locked in on the bottom. Man, that's the stuff that you dream about right there as a driver, being able to kind of run that yellow line here around Richmond. We're going to see drivers move up later on, but I think that's the ticket to success tonight. If you're able to continue making speed down there on the yellow line, as we got a battle here for the 6th position.
Battle for the lead. Battle for the lead, picking up. Sorry to interrupt, Chris, but Evan Janik had really drawn a bead on Jerry Salinas along with Adam Pettit there, and just right coming out of turn 3 and 4, Janik was able to open up the door and get underneath Salinas, and he brought Adam Pettit with him.
Yeah, and Evan Janik was on track last night in the SRL Grand National Series here on Slingshot TV, and you saw him. He was very fast last night, and I think he probably learned some things that he can employ tonight. I know the setups are a little bit different. This setup here, I believe, Ellis, is the stock iRacing setup. Yep. There was a custom setup last night, so I think this setup might wear the right front a little bit more than the one last night. But there's no substitute for track time and track conditions and just kind of feeling what it's like in traffic, that sort of thing. So Evan Janik under some pressure right here from Adam Pettit, not letting that 60 car get away.
Yeah, Adam Pettit kind of stalking there in the shadows in that black and blue machine with those lime green numbering. And boy, he's right in the back bumper, Chris. I know we talk about this frequently, but looking out that rear view mirror, it's really a two-part job. Not only you're trying to go forward if you're Evan Janik, but you're also kind of seeing what that car behind you is doing, trying to match it, trying to kind of close off any openings that you might be opening for them. And it's kind of a doubly tough job.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially at a track where, you feel like you could possibly get run over. This is one of the tracks right here where, and not even on purpose, just a driver barely missing their marks. There's, breaking down into turn 1 and into turn 3. We're going to, spend a little bit of time later on as we're riding on board right here with Evan Janik. We're going to spend a little bit of time later on talking about the differences between the entries to these corners. I know it's an oval, but both ends of this track, Ellis, they drive very differently from one another. Oh, as Janik is in the wall, and that's going to enable Pettit to get to the inside.
Janik gets a little bit of the wall there, and it's going to open a door for Adam Pettit. See if he can make that move down to the inside. Janik kind of closes it last minute there. Pettit lifts off the throttle wisely, but he's going to follow him through the corner, and we can see great battle across the line here. Lap 24, 15 laps remaining in this stage, and Pettit sends it down into turn number 1. He draws even with that blue and red number 60 of Evan Janik, and he's going to try to continue that battle down into turn 3. Side by side is the battle for the lead.
Yeah, that's so hard to do what Adam Pettit is doing right here here at Richmond. Difficult to complete this pass right here. The car wants to get very loose on the inside of another driver right there and put Pettit to the front. A great pass by the 96. Janik looking for the crossover right here. He's going to have the inside line down into turn 3.
Janik picks up that beat on the inside to Adam Pettit. Adam Pettit with a bit of momentum coming off of turn number 4 is going to channel that into at least holding on to that position for another lap or half a lap or so down into turn number 2. Janik sends it wide. Ooh. Contact between first and second place. Janik has to hit that brake to not keep that car careening up the racetrack towards the left side of Adam Pettit. And boy, that was a moment, Chris, that could have erupted in catastrophe for both of those drivers, first and second. Janik a little bit loose off of turn number 4.
Yeah, and that just speaks to what I was talking about earlier about the driver on the inside has just such a difficult task here. You know, it's so easy for that car to get sideways, and we saw it right there. Evan Janik backed off, you know, got back in behind Adam Pettit, looking to race him very, very clean. And riding on board right here with Evan Janik, this gives us a great opportunity to talk about the entry. Look at the curve in the front stretch right here. It's a very sweeping entry down into turn 1 right here. Very different than what you're going to see right here down into turn 3. You want to put the left side down there on the yellow line, but watch down here into turn 3. It's a much more abrupt left-hand turn right there. Seems like the 96 is taking a little bit more of a direct entry into turn number 3, whereas Evan Janik waiting a little bit longer to turn down the hill right there. Watch him down here right here, kind of seeing pretty similar lines between the two of them. But, you know, they're very different ends of the racetrack, Ellis, and the braking pressure that you have to use on both ends. I always feel like I can be a lot more aggressive down into turn 3 because I can kind of turn down a little bit quicker, whereas turn 1, car always feels a little bit floaty down into that turn.
Hey, speaking of floaty, one car's floating through the field right now. That is Mark Cofield. After starting 4th, he's up to 3rd place. Having a great run, Chris, and shout out to the driver of that number 97. Cofield, we've seen him be so good the past couple of weeks. Last week at Miami, nearly wrecked on lap 2 and rebounded with some pretty aggressive strategy. A 2-tire call that you and I both really questioned there halfway through the race, but was able to really hold off anyone charging and held on to a 4th place finish last week at Miami. So really impressive job. Cofield's best run of the season. So good to see him coming on as the season continues to wind along. That 97 has just gotten faster and faster. Right now, trying to hold off another fast car, Jacob Cochran, that number 8 throwback machine. What is that a throwback to?
I believe that's a Fireball Roberts throwback, if I'm not mistaken, and very, very cool, iconic paint scheme right there that Jacob Cochran's running. He always has the best throwback paint schemes. He brings them out every single week, it seems. And just above the door, it's kind of hard to see, but above the number 8, it says Jacob Fireball Cochran up above that number 8. Old school with the driver's name on the door here. And yeah, great paint scheme for Jacob tonight. One thing I want to mention, Ellis, we're approaching the end of stage 1, coming up on lap 40 right here, as we got a pass going on for the 3rd position. Jacob Cochran looking to complete that pass, and you know, these drivers in the top 10 wanting some stage points, and there's one driver not in the top 10 just outside of it right now as Jacob Cochran completes the pass, and that's Donnie Honeycutt in the 11th spot. A bit of a surprise for the 22 that he hasn't been able to come up through the field any quicker than this.
Oh, boy, big moment there for Brandon Vees, and I believe that was Casey Bristow right behind him. Tough battle going on over there, but I want to also, oh, my goodness, Bristow off the wall. Tyler Gbon in another car. It's going to put us under first caution of the night. And these always seem to happen right before the end of a stage, Chris, and I think it's exactly because what you were just talking about. Points are on the line. 10 drivers will receive points, and I think we saw that kind of play a factor there. Casey Bristow got into the left side of that car next to him and sent him around.
Yeah, that's Brandon Vees to the outside of him right there, and Vees is up the hill a little bit right here, kind of. Yeah, Vees is a little bit loose. Bristow coming up the hill right there. Both of them kind of meet together. That's Bradley Minor going around. You also saw Tyler Gbon in the number 4 go around down the front stretch right there. I don't believe it was anything too significant contact-wise for those cars. So I think that everybody else is going to be able to get away with this thing fairly decently, if I'm not mistaken. You know, don't see too much significant damage on any car.
Hey, something significant, though. Right before that caution flew, we did have a change for the lead. Adam Pettit got around Evan Janik, and that moved that number 95 or 96 up to the front. Won in Darlington a couple of weeks ago and continues to be fast. That number 96 right now working lap number 37 of 150 tonight, getting ready to end stage number 1. I'm curious if we are going to make it to lap 40, if they're going to let them do a 1-lap restart. We're going to have to wait to see what the race director decides on here, folks. But Just a quick check-in on the chat. Lots of comments coming in. Mike Barry says, congrats on P8 last night, Mr. Thomas. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a tough drive, but, hey, I'll take any chance I can get to get a top 10. So that was a great race last night. Lost Forgotten, Renee Lewis, Doodlebug in here, all rooting for Dustin Lewis, who's currently running in the 6th position. We got Noah rooting on Evan Janik. Connor Lyons is in here as well. Hope everyone's having a good night. We're going to do some trivia here in a moment once we figure out if they are going to let them run this thing out, if we're going to get a quick little restart for a lap or so. Chris, any indication of what's going to happen here?
We'll find out here. I believe that we will probably get a one-lap shootout. We'll have to wait and see. I do want to say one thing I can confirm is that we had several drivers, Ellis, come down pit road. Travis Bieber was one of them. In fact, I think he was the first driver off of pit road, if I'm not mistaken, in that number 23. He's currently showing in the 11th position. Mark Cofield came down pit road as well. He was on pit road for a while, actually. He surrendered the 4th position to enter the pits. And yes, we are going to get a restart right here. Drivers taking the choose. Adam Pettit and Evan Janik both taking the inside. Janik is going to give up the front row because he values that inside line going down into turn 1.
So we're going to have essentially a one-lap shootout. And what we've also done is we've seen this race now split in half when it comes to strategy, it would appear. That's going to be something we're going to keep an eye on. Travis Bieber, the first car to come down pit road that time. So let's keep that story on the burner here for a little bit. But right now, one-lap shootout, 4 stage points for the stage number 1 win. These drivers are going to come see the white flag for the stage and the green flag at the same time. Pace car makes that left-hand turn down. It's on Pettit and Cochran. Pettit makes that restart go, and the number 96 is off to the races, but Jacob Cochran gets a great restart as they set sail into turn number 1. Cochran in the Lilac machine up to the top line there. Adam Pettit on the inside. Cochran's got to lift the throttle to not get the wall, but he still is not able to avert the wall. Send him to second. Adam Pettit doing everything he can to hold on to it. Pettit looks like he's going to make it work. He's going to win stage number 1. Just by a nose or so, and the caution flies to put us under caution time for the second time. Couple cars contact. Travis Bieber, Chris. Big story, one of the fastest cars, the fastest qualifier, tail end into the wall in turn number 1.
Yeah, the caution flew kind of fast. I think that maybe some drivers are a little bit surprised by that. I think they normally wait till the top 10 cross the line right there. It was really close, and the caution flew. Drivers were getting on the brakes right there. It looks like Brandon V's just couldn't get slowed up in time and got Travis Bieber. Mark Cofield's going to get some damage in this as well. Go back to see if we can figure out what happened to the driver of the 23 right here. I believe we might have a replay right here, Cam, if we want to go side by side to keep an eye on the pit stops as well. Yeah, as the drivers make their way down pit road right there, there is that Chevrolet, the number 23 of, you can see Brandon V's just going to hit him right there in the right rear. Car hits the inside wall. V's gets taken out, and that, man, Donnie Honeycutt barely gets by, and there's Mark Cofield with nowhere to go, unfortunately. So, tough break for a couple of drivers right there under caution.
And
here.
Right now, pit stops happening for the top 10 and more. Travis Bieber was one of the drivers who came in just before that restart. It was Adam Pettit who won stage number 1. We're watching him right now in his pit stall. He's going to be the first car on pit road. Will he be the first car off pit road? The answer would seemingly be yes. Jacob Cochran's going to follow him second. An interesting move, Chris. Shane Bieber, maybe with right sides only, moves up to 4th position on that exchange of pit stops. So keep an eye on Shane Bieber there in that number 32 machine. Brett Bieber, sorry. Yeah, Brett Bieber. Got to get the Bieber brothers straight.
Brett, looks like he took 4 tires right there. So, some good track position for him right here. These drivers are going to be behind Donnie Honeycutt, Brandon V's, who came to pit road on the previous caution. So, they're going to have to get through a little bit of traffic if they want to get back up here to the front of this thing.
Let's do some trivia, folks. Remember, every comment you put in the chat tonight enters you in to win that 1/24th scale, the big guy, Kevin Harvick diecast. Throw your answers into the chat. Letters are fine here. First trivia question tonight. Richmond's unique triple crossing is the only spot in the world where 3 of these cross at different levels. What are they? Are they canals? That's option A. Option B is Class 1 railroads. Option C are interstate highways. Richmond's unique triple crossing is the only spot in the world where 3 of these things cross at different levels. Throw your answers into the chat. We're going to leave it up past the restart, folks. Get those answers in the chat. Every comment gets you entered in to win that Kevin Harvick diecast that we'll send to you absolutely free of charge. We'll do that drawing tomorrow morning between chatters in last night's SRL race and tonight's NSRLA race. We got the answers coming in. I love it. Right now, we'll talk more about those answers here shortly, but right now we're getting ready for the restart and the start of stage number 2. This race is going by very, very quickly right now. Chris, Donnie Honeycutt, I like the call. He's on just 6 laps, older tires. Track positions, everything, and Donnie Honeycutt flipped it here, and he gets off to a great start here as we're back underway in Richmond. Honeycutt now the leader. Adam Pettit back to second, but Jacob Cochran, Brandon Vies, and Evan Janik 3 wide. Vies is a sandwich.
Yeah, Evan Janik right there. He looks like Brandon Vies had trouble getting up through the gears right there, and Janik made it 3 wide to try to get clear of the 65. This is a great call right here for Donnie Honeycutt. A lot of these laps are under caution on his tires, and this is going to get him some great track position. He gave up any chance for stage points to do it, but a great call for the driver of the 22.
I love that call right now. He is not loving the view. He's got in his mirror a couple cars sideways. Well, that was Casey Bristow, I believe, down the backstretch, who had quite the moment. But that's going to put us under caution. A couple of cars maybe sideways in the corner. That's Michael Cole in the number 43. Sideways in turns 3 and 4. It's going to put us under caution number 3. We'll see if we can't figure out what happened to him. But, boy, the answers are coming in the chat. We'll reveal it after this replay.
Yeah, I wonder if we can go back a little bit right here, Cam. That's the contact that puts the 43 around, but I wonder if we can rewind a little bit to show what happened off of turn 2 between, right there, you can see it, between Bristow and Cole. Bristow to the inside right here in that blue number 11 Toyota. The number 43 right here on the outside, Michael Cole. Yeah, Cole gets loose down right there into the right front of Bristow. And then Tyler Gbon right here. Yeah, I don't know if they misjudged the entry speed or if Michael Cole got on the brakes a little bit quicker than he thought. But yeah, that's going to send Michael Cole around and put us under caution here in stage 2.
Under caution here. Let's go ahead and reveal the answer. A lot of y'all got it right. A lot of folks getting in on this one. They felt pretty good about this. We asked you what Richmond's unique triple crossing is the only spot in the world where 3 of these cross at different levels. The answer is Class 1 railroads. Class 1 railroads. Several of you got it right. Answer choice B. Renee Lewis got it right. Julie, my mother-in-law, got it right. Lost Forgotten got it right. Lots of folks in the chat. Congratulations, y'all. All those comments, wrong or right, get you entered to win that Kevin Harvick diecast later on that we'll be doing the drawing for tomorrow. Folks, appreciate you joining in. Michael Barrier in here as well. George Mock, Chad, rooting on the number 9 of Ryan Bittler. Check in on that number 9 car. He's currently sitting in the 11th position, Chad. Bittler in that number 9 machine with, I believe that's his face on the front of the car. Is that his face?
I believe it is, and kind of, it's definitely like I think that's a statement, putting your face on the hood, like, I'm not here to play around tonight.
It's giving me the Corey LaJoie throwback vibes from several years ago. So right now, working lap number 50, a third of the way through. They're quicking away here quite rapidly, folks. Looking at leader Donnie Honeycutt. And Chris, I want to follow this beat here because Honeycutt, we were really concerned about him before the end of stage number 1. He was sitting 11th. He'd only gained 2 spots as they come to the choose cone here. He'd only gained 2 spots, and you and I were kind of scratching our heads a little bit. He was really fast in practice, but he forgave stage points to essentially come down pit road before that caution came out, and he flipped the script and came out in the lead after not having to come down pit road with the rest of the leaders under caution. I really like that call. And it's got him back into contention here. And Donnie Honeycutt, one of those drivers that not locked into round 2, but he might as well be sitting plus 35 coming into tonight, second place in points, looking to maybe take that one step further and officially cement himself in here. Going to be getting ready for the restart with Jacob Cochran on the outside. Donnie Honeycutt in that black and white Callaway golf machine, waiting to get to that restart zone. Honeycutt mashes the throttle. We're back underway racing here at Richmond, folks, for NSRLA. Slingshot TV, it's Jacob Cochran back in second place. That's the battle right beside Adam Pettit, that black and blue machine. Cochran in the lilac Warrior machine there on the outside. Exhaust flames coming out as they roll through turns 3 and 4. And Chris Pettit's got a bead on Donnie Honeycutt down the straightaway.
Yeah, that 96 car turning really good right there through the center of turns 3 and 4. He's down to the bottom of the racetrack, and got to feel like the speed, the turn that we're seeing in the center of the corner that 96 has right here, he might be able to clear Donnie Honeycutt right here in turns 3 and 4, and he will put Adam Pettit to P1 as Jacob Cochran looking to follow him.
Jacob Cochran making a look that move up to second place. Honeycutt trying to hold on to it, but on the outside, that's going to be a difficult task for sure. And he's now not going to be able to close the door. Almost tries to close it on Brett Bieber there, who wisely lifts off the throttle and lets Honeycutt back in line right in front of Evan Janik, top 5. Throw a blanket over these drivers right now, Chris, and I'm watching Evan Janik right behind that number 32 machine. He's got our heart rate monitor riding along with us tonight. That thing has been calm, cool, and collected the entire race. In fact, I want to check in on the stress levels. You can look at that. 19% stress. I think that might be the lowest I've ever seen the stress meter since we've brought that technology in. I'm really impressed with how cool he is right now in the midst of all this battling.
Yeah, I think that, something to be said for that. It maybe tells me that he's just kind of chilling right now, just kind of riding, biding his time. We mentioned before how he ran 150 laps here last night. So, and running in race conditions, Ellis, there's nothing that can replicate.
Ooh.
Oh, some contact right there. And I believe that was Brandon V's. Yeah, he got some contact from Cody Riggs from behind right there. Riggs looking to the outside, but great save by the 65 right there as I'm going to throw a blanket over these 4 cars.
Hey, right there in the pack, Dustin Lewis and that number 33 machine. Renee Lewis commenting on how great all these paint schemes look, how these drivers design their rides, and she mentioned one of her favorites is Dustin Lewis, and yeah, it's a good looking. I love a good looking orange paint scheme, just fresh and bright. And boy, Minor sends V's almost into Dustin Lewis there. That was almost catastrophe, and that orange number 33 about looked a little bit worse from contact, but it looks like we're going to avoid any sort of major incident there. We got Lost Forgotten rooting on the nephew here in the chat, the number 33, trying to fight back against V's, but right in front of them, the battle is heating up. That is the number 32 of Brett Bieber chasing down the number 22 of Donnie Honeycutt. Evan Janik kind of lying in wait there. Working lap number now 60 here at Richmond. Jacob Cochran trying to just gain a little bit of ground on leader Adam Pettit, who's led for the last little bit here. And Chris, we saw him so dominant at Darlington, very fast in that number 96 machine. It looks like he's picking that story back up tonight at Richmond.
He is. Oh, we got trouble in 3 and 4. Oh my gosh, Tyler Gbon with a heck of a save. I honestly cannot believe it, Ellis. He had one heck of a slide on entry to turn 3. We're going to go back and see this one more time. In fact, I do have the replay right here if we do want to go back and see what happened to Tyler in that number 4 car. I believe he had contact earlier, if I'm not mistaken, with Michael Cole, and here they make contact again, and look at this 4 car down into turn 3, down on the apron. That's why I hollered, because I thought we were about to have a big crash, and somehow he saved it. Great job right there by Tyler Gbon.
It looked like the wall got lucky, and the 11 of Casey Bristow got lucky there. The Gbon didn't hit either one of them, and a slide that any drifter would definitely applaud for. Right now, working lap number 63 of 150. Chats are coming in. Connor Lyons asks, why does Humpty Dumpty like autumn? I knew it was going to have something to do with the fall, but he says because he had a great fall. Oof. Connor, I'm not going to lie. That's I can appreciate it, but that's not in your top 5 for sure. But we're glad. We love to have the joke every single race, and love a good Humpty Dumpty joke.
Yeah, these drivers right here, they're hoping to not turn out like Humpty Dumpty right here. We got Evan Janik right here in the midst of some pressure right here. It looks like, he's cleared Donnie Honeycutt, moved up into the 4th spot. Janik, we saw him kind of taking it easy earlier. Might be turning up the wick just a little bit in this 60 car, looking after Brett Bieber up ahead in the 32.
Chasing down Brett Bieber. That's a battle for the 3rd position. Janik going to lose a little bit of ground there off of turn number 4. Bieber continues to climb the banking here just a little bit, brings it back down there towards the yellow line. And Chris, the space between the left front tire and that yellow line, what does that tell you about how these cars are handling at this point in this race right now with 23 laps on these tires?
Yeah, a sign of a driver that is going to be tough to handle is a driver who is able to keep that left front, keep those left sides right down there along that yellow line, especially from mid-corner off. We saw last night, if you watch here on Slingshot TV, as the run went on, drivers wanted to start moving up higher and higher on the racetrack. And, we're seeing Evan Janik do that. I'm not saying it's bad to be up higher because there's definitely some speed to be found by, being able to make that late apex. That's definitely a strategy right there. See Evan a little bit loose right there in corner entry, but look at him right there. I love that on corner exit, how you're able to wrap the yellow line for a long time on corner exit. And I think there's a lot of speed to be found there, like keeping the left sides right there on that yellow line, especially as the run goes on. The drivers that are fast on the long run here, Ellis, are the drivers who can keep that thing on that yellow line a little bit longer on corner exit than their competitors.
Look at the run that Evan Janik gets. Really no way to answer that by Brett Bieber. The door was open, and Evan Janik walked through it in turns 3 and 4. Looks like Bieber might make it a little bit tough on the outside here down the front straightaway, but Janik's going to claim that spot. Move Janik up in the 60 to P3. We talked about Janik running with us last night in SRL at Richmond. Had a really fast car and continues to pick that up right now. And the question a little bit in front of them, we're looking at, can Jacob Cochran get by Adam Pettit? Cochran's had the fastest car, it feels like, for the last couple of laps. The battle for the lead, of course, is heating up, and Cochran's been eating into it the last couple of laps. That purple lilac machine going down the back straightaway. Cochran is one of the drivers that we have seen pick up a couple of wins this season, and he's one that we're going to be following in the championship for sure. The 4th seed right now, 21 points to the good. So he's just got to get out of here with the top 5 finish. Does that change the way that these guys race? Someone like Cochran, does he really, he gets in the wall there. Does he push the issue, or is he good with just kind of making it into the top 6 for the final 3 races of the season?
Yeah, I think that, being in the top 6 is definitely goal number 1. But yeah, if you can get some checkered flags, and kind of cement your position, I think that's definitely what you want to go for as we ride on board with Jacob Cochran. I think that he would definitely go for the win tonight, and if he could right there. And hey, we've seen him tag the wall a few times in this number 8. I'm not sure if he's hitting the wall on his end, or if maybe that's a little netcode connection on our end where we're seeing it, but. We are seeing, I love that onboard shot right there. Kind of shows you the different lines. Just it looks like they're both right around the bottom, but there's something to be said for, just being a little bit lower, I think, on corner exit. And yeah, Jacob's going to slide up a little bit here on this end. Didn't quite wrap it the way I think he wanted to right there in 3 and 4, but he's hitting it so good most of the time. And that bodes really well, Ellis, for this final stage, I think, where we're going to have a possibility of a long green flag run. That's Gino Volante.
Gino Volante, boy, doing a birthday dance in front of those cars right now. The 2 leaders narrowly averted that number 35 machine as they come down the front straightaway. Chris, one point I wanted to make, Randy B in the chat says, looks like the long runs last night, that SRL race might have helped Janik for tonight. I think that's a pretty good observation. That we're seeing definitely play out here, but the battle for the lead continues to pick up here. Just 4 laps remaining in stage number 2. This race is going by fast, past the halfway point at this point. These drivers battling for that stage number 2 win. Pettit's got it. Cochran wants it here with just now 3.5 laps to go down the back straightaway. Wondering how forceful Jacob Cochran is going to be here. He's gotten the wall a couple of times in this run. Draws to the back bumper. Looks like he's rolling it through a little bit better at that corner, Chris, than Adam Pettit was able to do.
Yeah, both of the cars are getting around the bottom very well, but we're seeing a little bit better turn in that number 8 right now, and Jacob Cochran is putting a lot of pressure right now on Adam Pettit. But Ellis, catching them is one thing, and passing them is another. And it is definitely true here at Richmond. It is very, very difficult to get position to complete the pass, and so this is not going to be an easy one to make for Jacob Cochran.
I like this run. Cochran really trying a different technique and entry into these corners, Chris. High entrance, late apex, brings it down, and he's getting a run off the corner that he's trying to set up a pass here for sure as the white flag waves on stage number 2. Let's see if Cochran can't make a move to get by Adam Pettit here. Pettit kind of tries to close that door. Cochran gets right back up to the back bumper. A little bit loose off the corner there. Does it open the door for Cochran off of turn number 4? Does he use the chrome horn? The answer appears at the moment to be no. He can't get there in time. Looks like Adam Pettit is going to win stage number 2. The rest of the top 10's got to cross the line before our race director waves the yellow flag, though. That's about to happen any moment. Driver's already slowing down just a little bit, and there it is. Stage number 2 comes to a close. Adam Pettit wins it. Jacob Cochran second. That long run speed of Evan Janik really paying off with a 3rd place finish in that stage. Brett Bieber in the 32 brings it home 4th. Christian Barnes 5th in stage number 2. Folks, we are going to take just a moment to hear from our partners at Whiplash SimCams, and we'll be right back for Pit Stops. All right, pit stops underway right now at Richmond. It was Adam Pettit who brought him down first. Watching the battle off of pit road, you can see Pettit there getting ready to come off of pit road. Jerry Salidas pulling in. There's Evan Janik who came down 3rd. Jacob Cochran, though, almost beats Janik off of pit road, and he's go. Man, Janik made a play for it right behind Adam Pettit there, and I believe it was not enough. Cochran is going to be the second car pit road. Evan Janik 3rd. So the top 3 remain unchanged. Status quo there. And let's go ahead and do a little bit more trivia. Every comment, folks, every guess to the trivia gets you an entry into that Kevin Harvick die-cast drawing. Ooh, good one here. I like this one. Here we go. So the question is, in 1775, Patrick Henry delivered his iconic Give Me Liberty speech at which Richmond location? Was it Virginia State Capitol, St. John's Church, or Old City Hall? Where did Patrick Henry give that give me liberty or give me death? We hear that. We learned that in elementary school, Chris. I don't know if I learned where it was actually given, but maybe some of these folks watching at home right now can let us know. Chat question is up on the board. Throw your answers in the chat, folks. Every comment gets you an entry into that Kevin Harvick die-cast drawing. Chris, we're getting ready for stage number 3. What story are you going to be following? What are you looking for out of these drivers as we hit the final pay window of this race?
Well, I hate to jinx things. I'm really trying not to, as the drivers are going to take the chews here on the front stretch. But it's been very green tonight, and what we saw right there in that second stage, be watching the long run pace for some of these drivers. We saw Randy B mention, about Evan Janik learning some things. Evan kind of, he started out strong. He kind of faded a little bit on the long run last night. Seems like he's got some good staying power tonight in that 60 machine. I don't know if anybody has the long run pace that the 8 car has, but, we didn't go as long as what we're going to go in this final stage here. So be curious to see if anybody can contend with the 8, if Adam Pettit can maybe adjust his technique a little bit right here to improve his long run pace right here in this final stage.
Lots of chat answers coming in. We'll talk about the winners there in a moment. But right now, these drivers looking to figure out who's going to win this race in just about 65 laps. Adam Pettit takes the green flag. Here we are underway at stage 3 at Richmond. The pay window's open. Pettit off the line quickly. Jacob Cochran gets to second quickly. Evan Janik try to hold off Jacob Cochran there. Oh, boy, contact. Cochran sideways down the backstretch. He's going to lose that spot and potentially more. Christian Barnes comes into the battle very quickly back there. Barnes is as high as he's been all race long in that number 27 machine. Barnes up to third, battling with Jacob Cochran for that position.
Yes, they battle it out right here for the third position. These drivers giving it everything that they've got. And Ellis, what do you say right here on this restart right here, while these drivers are all bunched? Oh, we got one car sideways off of turn 2. It's Gino Volante. He is sideways down the backstretch. Oh, as he's going to hit the inside wall.
Get it going,
caution
Gino.
yet. Yeah, and it looks like we're going to stay green.
And with that, you were going to mention it, Chris, just for Connor. We're going to go ahead and do a crank it up, folks. You can hear the sights and sounds live as they sound at the track. Crank up that volume. All right, back here live in Richmond. You've heard it, exactly what it sounds like at the track. Loud and clear. And right now, Adam Pettit leading loud and clearly, but we've got some fast cars all the way around the racetrack. Before we talk about those, folks, we asked you, where did Patrick Henry give his "Give Me Liberty" or "Give Me Death" speech? It was indeed at St. John's Church. Several of you got that one correct in the chat. I know Payday Racing, Randy B got it correct. A couple more folks as well. Renee Lewis, Lost Forgotten, got it correct. So congratulations to y'all. I got some smart trivia players here tonight, Chris, but right now, all the energy is on the track. Brandon V's doing everything he can to hold off Casey Bristow on that 11 machine.
Yeah, right now this is a battle going on for the 12th position. Brandon V's got some damage on basically all corners of the race car. Almost up to that right rear looks pretty clean right here, but have to imagine the handling of that Aflac machine is suffering just a little bit right now as Casey Bristow is going to complete the pass and move up into that 12th position.
No.
Brandon V's sideways into turn 3. I think we've seen that car sideways. The 4 car. Oh, no.
He got Gavin. He got Gavin down the front straightaway. That is going to potentially put us under caution, and it does. And boy, Tyler Gbon having such a good run, Chris. Just wrong place at the wrong time. And that was a caution that really was transpiring over about 2 sets of corners. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, Brandon V is having a little bit of a hard time tonight. I've seen that car sideways a few times right there. We'll go back right here and see if we can look at him all the way back to the entry of turn 3 because he was struggling all the way back there. Ran up on Casey Bristow, it looked like right there. Bristow had just completed the pass and, almost ran to the back of him right there. Got sideways, trying to correct it, trying to hold on to it. I have to imagine that right rear got heated. Oh, yes, there was some contact right there, the 4 into the back of the 65. And that's going to hook the 4 down the front stretch right there, adding a little bit more damage to Tyler Gbon's Ford Mustang. So I think both these drivers are going to be able to continue on right here, but that does put us under yellow again here in the final stage.
Fourth caution of the night. It's going to give several drivers an opportunity to come down pit road. And looks like all but the top 5 come down pit road, Chris.
Yeah.
13 laps on those tires. We could be looking at, with 54 laps, it's going to be about a 50-lap restart. I think this could really set up an interesting finish on tires.
Yeah, all drivers can make it. Based on the fuel numbers that we received in pre-race, all the drivers can make it to the end of the race here. That came to pit road right there at the stage break. And I think that this right here, I like this call. I think this is a good call right here. If we do, because this has had a very green look to it tonight. If we go green to the end right here, you're going to have a pretty, it's not a significant tire advantage, but you're going to have some speed on the restart right here on the drivers right in front of you that are in the top 5. So I like this call.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique call, just trying to mix it up a little bit. Hey, in the chat right now, got a lot of folks. Chris, they got an idea for us. They want a digger cam at some point. They remember the old Fox Gopher cam? They said we could name him Speed Bump.
Hey, we'll see what we can do about that.
Forgotten's idea. Also, a little bit of trivia from Renee Lewis. She says cars with the number 11 and 43 have won the most races at Richmond, 13 each.
Yeah, some iconic drivers have driven both those cars. Yeah, that's a good stat.
11 would have been, what is that? Darrell Waltrip, David Pearson?
And Denny Hamlin's won a ton of races here in the 11. So, all those junior Johnson cars, man, they short tracks back in the day, especially when this was the Richmond Fairgrounds track. Oh, boy, they could tear it up here.
And then we got Ryan Munn saying he just meant to rattle his cage. That's a Dale Earnhardt joke, right? Dale Earnhardt line?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, a little bit of rattling of the cage going on here. So as drivers take the choose right here down the front stretch, we're going to be watching these drivers who came to pit road, Ellis. I'm going to be very interested to see how Christian Barnes, and some of the drivers behind him are able to carve their way up through here.
We're waiting to see this restart with about 52 laps left tonight. Jacob Cochran in that lilac, number 8 on the outside. Adam Pettit, that leader on the inside in that black and blue number 96. Pettit with a win earlier this season at Darlington. Going after another one tonight here. He's going to be the control car on the restart. Mashes that throttle in the restart zone. We're back underway here in Richmond, folks. 52 laps left. They've gone by quickly, but the most action is probably yet to be seen. Pettit leads him into the corner, but the battle's on for second. Evan Janik really fast underneath Jacob Cochran, who got more of the wall off of turn number 2 there. And I've seen Cochran do that a couple times, Chris. How many times can you do that and get away with it as we watch Evan Janik really fast here on this restart?
Yeah, I just think it's a question of, we see it looks fairly hard on our end, is it the same on his end right there? As we've seen a number of drivers tag the safer barrier off of turn 2 tonight. Michael Cole sideways right there off of turn 2. He's going to hang on to it, but that's going to shallow up his entry down here into this corner. Dustin Lewis struggling up on that top lane. We're side by side right here. This is going on for the 5th position on back.
Yeah, good battle with Dustin Lewis here, right on top of the number 12. The number 12 of Cody Riggs. That's a battle for the 4th position right now. Lewis on the outside, Riggs on the inside. There goes Ryan Bittler down the backstretch, sideways. Race director's going to throw the caution flag. That's going to put us under the 5th caution tonight. And Chris, we talked about this thing having a long green flag run complexion, but that's changed in the final third of the race.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. Ryan Bittler's going to get... He's going to get loose right here off of turn 2. You see him sideways right there. Does a nice job right there holding on to it. And so he is on newer tires. So maybe a little bit of, cold tires, low temperature, just kind of a little bit free, a little bit loose right here on this restart. He'll be able to gather it back up right here and rejoin the field and get back after it. Oh, Evan Janik coming to pit road.
Interesting call here. Evan Janik giving up that track position. And
Jacob Cochran.
Yeah, those two cars. What do you make of this call? Because they're going to have, I'm looking at maybe a 7-lap tire advantage now. They were at a 13-lap disadvantage. What do you make of that call? Do you think that's a lateral move, or do you think there's something to be gained there?
Well, they're definitely going to lose some track position here, but I think that they saw the speed that those drivers on new tires had coming up through the field. Cody Riggs had made some nice progress up through the field. I think that maybe they were feeling a little bit of pressure, like maybe they had to do that. And yeah, they're going to have to restart a little bit further back right now. I think they're going to come off pit road around the 10th position. So yeah, they're going to have to battle their way through some traffic, and this is not going to be easy because, these drivers just came off pit road that are going to be in front of them. So, I'm actually mistaken, Ellis. Looks like Cody Riggs did not come to pit road before, so he and Pettit are on the same tires. Christian Barnes, Michael Cole, Brett Bieber, Donnie Honeycutt, Bradley Meyer, those drivers came to pit road on the previous caution. So, yeah, I think that maybe that was just a move right there to try to counter the previous move.
Hey, I want to just draw a beat on here. Michael Cole, we saw him have a little bit of trouble earlier on, but fourth position right now, Chris. He was 16 points out of the round of 6 cutoff. So he's got a race and a half left to essentially make up points for that. Currently sitting in fourth. I don't have the live points in front of me, but doing everything he pretty much can to really claw away at what was a pretty big margin. That getting close to maybe being counted out of making the round of 6, and right now doing a pretty good job of recovery in that number 43 machine. We're not going to have to wait long to figure out what's going to happen next because they're taking the choose rule right now. Adam Pettit took the inside. Christian Barnes, oh boy, big moment. EOL for Adam Pettit. Not sure what has happened. If anyone knows in the chat, maybe has info. Did he not make the choose rule?
I think he might have been late to the choose. I think he might have been late to it down the front stretch right there. So that is an unfortunate mistake right there for Adam Pettit. And yeah, he's going to have to restart at the tail end of this field. And it's going to put the field in the hands of Christian Barnes, it looks like.
Big story, but Christian Barnes going to be the beneficiary of that. Barnes is going to be the control car on the restart. Brings us back under green. But look out, Cody Riggs there in second place, trying to get to the inside. Not going to be able to do it in turn 1. That's going to be all Christian Barnes taking hold of that real estate. That is the new leader in town. Christian Barnes, P1 for the first time tonight. Riggs up to second, but Brett Bieber into third with Michael Cole fourth through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Brett Bieber right here looking to the inside of Cody Riggs. That's a battle going on for the second spot. Brett Bieber had really good turn right there in turns 3 and 4. Michael Cole watching these drivers. You talked about Michael Cole, Ellis. He got no laps of practice. In fact, I questioned whether or not he was going to be in the race tonight. I was like, it doesn't look like he's going to show up, but here he is right here. Oh, some contact, Cody Riggs.
Oh, Bristow. Oh, no. Donnie Honeycutt in it as well. Justin Lewis barely misses it. Adam Pettit, Chris, head on into the number 22. Man. And boy, talk about just adding insult to injury there with that black flag for missing the choose rule. Let's see what happened here.
It's all the way back right there on the entry to turn 3. Some contact between Cody Riggs and Bradley Minor. An argument over real estate. Cody Riggs trying to protect his position. And yeah, Casey Bristow is going to get in the back of Bradley Minor, who overcorrects and takes out his teammate Donnie Honeycutt. And Adam Pettit knocks Honeycutt up into the air. And yes, Ellis, just the loss of track position the very next lap after the black flag. Unfortunately, Adam Pettit, one of the fastest cars all night, his night is looking like it might be over with now. As Bradley Minor, Donnie Honeycutt, they've both got meatball flags, some terminal damage to those machines with required repairs. It looks like, and the damage is also significant here on the 96.
Oh, that was absolutely a tough break indeed. Right now we are working the 7th caution of the evening, and what had a really green flag look to it. Chris, things change when you enter the pay window.
I never should have said anything.
The patience runs out. I'm not blaming you. Don't worry. I'm not blaming you. Not out loud, at least, as these drivers work their way through turns 1 and 2. Or I should say 3 and 4 coming down the front straightaway. Now, folks, got another little fun game to play related to something we talked about in the intro. We're going to do a word scramble. It does kind of have to do with what this track used to be. So we'll go ahead and throw up. It's going to be a word scramble. I thought I had it pre-programmed here, but I got to throw it in there. The word scramble is up on the board. If you can unscramble, what is that word? Has to do with what this track used to be. Get your guesses in the chat right now. Doing a little bit of a word scramble challenge. Remember, every comment that you have tonight is an entry into that Kevin Harvick diecast drawing for that Tasmanian Devil. 124th scale, the big guy. Diecast as these drivers work their way around. Also, if you're watching and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, folks, make sure you do so. It doesn't cost you a thing. People always ask what's the best way we can support the channel. Obviously, super chats are good, but we are just fine with a subscribe hit. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps get these drivers in front of more fans. And hit that notification bell so you can make sure you get notified every time we do go live. Chris, we got a big race coming up this Saturday, a full 500-mile Daytona 500. We'll talk more about that later on, but right now the drivers have taken the choose rule, and I bet Christian Barnes and Brett Bieber were very eager to make sure they took the choose rule on time because race control is looking hard at that.
Yeah, they definitely are right there, and yeah, they definitely made sure they made their intentions known early enough right there as Christian Barnes going to be in control of this race, looking to make it back-to-back wins here in the playoffs.
He won at Miami last week. Can he do it again? Brett Bieber, Chris, got to be careful. Race control probably going to be looking at that restart to see if that 32 maybe jumped the gun a little bit. It's not going to put him in the lead, which might be his saving grace here. Christian Barnes works his way by that Bell South machine on the inside. Moved Domino's 27 up to P1, but now Casey Bristow looking on the inside of Brett Bieber. Bristow involved in that last crash we had just a moment ago, but currently running third in that blue number 11 machine. A little bit loose off the corner, but move Brett Bieber up, Chris. He's challenging Christian Barnes for that lead.
He is right there. We saw him in the restart zone. I think that Brett was trying to time that restart right there, trying to anticipate when Christian Barnes would launch. And it's really difficult here at Richmond because the restart zone is right there at the exit of turn 4. You're kind of still turning. And, that was close right there. But it looks like everything was really clean as we got Evan Janik looking to the inside of Michael Cole and Jacob Cochran looking to the inside of Casey Bristow.
Yeah, Janik, one of those cars on slightly fresher tires, gave up track position for those just a little while ago. He is on a mission right now, hard charging through the field. Moved Janik up to 4th position. Bristow bleeding positions, dropping like a rock through the field down the front straightaway. The battle right now between, you can see there, Brett Bieber and the number 27 of Christian Barnes. The battle for the lead continues to simmer here as Barnes tries to hold off a hard charging Brett Bieber, who hasn't let Barnes get too far away on this restart.
Yeah, Christian Barnes started deep in the field tonight, Ellis. Started 14th, worked his way up to the lead here, and I'm just looking back right here to see, and he only got like 2 laps of practice in, so impressive performance right here for the 27 is Brett Bieber, though. He's not letting him get away. That's another impressive performance tonight as well. Brett looking to... looking right here to spoil sort of the playoff fun right here for some of these drivers and maybe get him a win. He's looking to the inside of Barnes.
Best run of the season by far for Brett Bieber in the Bell South machine. Took a look to the inside of Christian Barnes for the lead. Thought better of it, at least this time by. Patience is a virtue, and right now Brett Bieber is practicing that like a pro. But what's allowed to happen is, looks like the number 8 of Jacob Cochran has slowly crept into the picture there in that lilac number 8, that throwback, that Fireball Roberts throwback machine now in 3rd position, Chris. And we talked about if this thing were to go green for the rest of the 32 laps, I can't help but really like where Jacob Cochran is right now.
Yeah, I do as well. It's worked out really well for him and Evan Janik. They've gotten back up through the field fairly easily right here. And put themselves in position 3 and position 4. As I think that Jacob Cochran tagged the wall down the front stretch right there, just trying to use every inch of real estate, trying to, arc out on entry to turn 1. He's putting a lot of pressure right here as we ride on board with Evan Janik, putting a lot of pressure right here on that front 2. And, Brett Bieber, he is giving it all he's got. Else, we were talking about that Bell South car before the race. You and I and Cam were talking about us iconic paint scheme, a good-looking paint scheme, one of my favorites.
It really is a good-looking scheme. Just a classic, all-time classic for sure. And right now, What doesn't look good, at least for Brett Bieber, is that view he's got in the rearview mirror. But out front for Brett Bieber, it's a really good view because he's ducked to the inside underneath Christian Barnes for the lead. Barnes up the track about a lane and a half. Brett Bieber down on the inside. Can Bieber carry that momentum, or is Barnes going to shut the door down into turn number 3? Barnes doesn't have an answer. Bieber slides up into Barnes, almost opens the door for Jacob Cochran. Bieber loose, but holds on the lead, at least for the moment, down into 1.
This is such a hard pass to make, Ellis. You know, I know the struggle. I know what Brett Bieber is going through right here. That car gets really loose whenever you can't use all the racetrack. Oh, Cochran in the wall. He got free as well. And that maybe, I don't know if there's any damage right there to the 8, but yeah, Brett Bieber, this is going to be a difficult pass to make. We see that car sliding around a little bit, and you know, the temptation is there to overdrive on corner entry. You kind of have to drive in hard to be able to maintain position, and man, he is giving Christian Barnes all he can handle on that inside.
It is a tight battle, one of the best we've seen all night, and it's happening up front. That black and red Domino's machine. Last week's winner, Christian Barnes, who's the driver locked into the final round of the playoffs. Brett Bieber, not a playoff driver, trying to upset the party just a little bit for what is a cadre of playoff drivers around him, including Jacob Cochran and Evan Janik, who have their own little scrum going on right behind this battle for the lead. But it will not die down at all. Christian Barnes lunges back on the outside. Will he have enough momentum to close the door? Brett Bieber gives it up there, but almost gets into Jacob Cochran, who goes to his outside. Battle on now for second position.
Yeah, and that's a lot of confidence right there from Jacob Cochran. He must feel like he can get the run on corner exit to complete this pass, but to do it, you see how close he's running the number 32. Oh, if Brett is sideways right there off turn 4, you have got to do everything you can to be right down there on that driver's door to try to pinch them off as much as you can. I think Jacob Cochran is going to clear Brett Bieber right here off of turn 2. No, he's not. Brett Bieber battles back. Some good forward drive right there out of the 32. These drivers are putting on one heck of a show.
Chris, the driver who loves to see this right now, Christian Barnes, who's watching it all unfold in his rearview mirror. These drivers trying to get every ounce of horsepower they can out of these cars. And that reminds me, the answer to our word scramble was horses. And if you didn't hear it in the pre-race intro, this property started off as Deer Run Hunt Club, where they had horse racing back in the colonial days here in Virginia. So a little bit of extra history there for you. Congratulations to all the folks who guessed that correctly. Now just 22 laps remaining here in Richmond in the Commonwealth 150. It's all Christian Barnes at the moment. He's got about a 4 or 5 car length lead, not up to a 6 or 7 car length lead yet over Jacob Cochran, but I know he's working on it. Evan Janik, third place. Brett Bieber, fourth, and Michael Cole, Chris, in that black and yellow machine, that 43 is hung tough in the 5th position. I have to say, I am indeed impressed with what Michael Cole has been able to do in that number 43 machine, getting up here and making use of that track position.
Yeah, this is a great performance for Michael Cole. You know, we talked about, we didn't know if he was going to be here tonight. You know, we were trying to go through in the pre-race and kind of look at who was here and who wasn't here, and you know, he hadn't made it yet when we did our little count, and he made it in just before, you know, the session kind of locked everybody in, and you know, with no practice, you know, this is a great run tonight, a great performance out of him, and yeah, he's looking really solid in that 43, a good points night for him. And watching Jacob Cochran right here, Ellis, I don't know if you noticed right here, I don't know when this happened. I'm not 100% sure, so I do apologize. But I think there's a little bit of nose damage on that number 8 car. Wonder if we can see. Yeah, right there on the exit turn 4. Yeah, that car is looking like it's sliding a little bit more on corner exit now, a little bit higher up the hill than he was earlier. I wonder if the performance has been hurt a little bit by the damage on the number 8. I don't know if you know, he got in the back of somebody or, you know, where it might have happened, but yeah, not seeing that turn that we saw earlier, not seeing him wrap the yellow line as Evan Janik looks like now. He's got the turn right here down into turn number 1, looking to complete the pass here for the second position.
Yeah, Janik working underneath Jacob Cochran. Looks like he's going to easily get that second position. We got Michael Barrier in the chat asking, how's the race pulse work Evan Janik, who's wearing it right now, is wearing an Apple Watch that's got a heart rate monitor synced with an app that we have that transmits that data to us. So it's all digital. It's all done in the cloud. We do some calculations to take a look at the stress level of the driver. And I'm not sure if that thing is updated in a few minutes, because I've seen it sitting at 76. He might have had some issues with that earlier on in the race. But if not, I've seen it fluctuate a couple times. So right now it's kind of stalled out at 76. But either way, Evan Janik has climbed his way up to second position and gotten by Jacob Cochran. I am looking at him really right now, Chris, being the fastest car on the track. Evan Janik about a tenth of a lap faster, second faster than the leader, Christian Barnes.
Yeah, he was sideways right there off of turn 2, but yeah, he is definitely closing the gap right here on Christian Barnes. A little bit fresher tires on the number 60, not significant, but about 7 laps. Some of those were under yellow, but any little bit of an advantage does help. And yeah, we heard Rady B chime in earlier into the chat and mention about how maybe possibly Evan Janik learned some things last night about the long run here. And yeah, it seems like he's definitely putting them into practice now, closing in on Christian Barnes and looking to make a race of this thing.
Yeah, that battle box is really telling the story right now. 7 laps predicted for the number 60 to overtake that 27 of Christian Barnes. We'll see if it changes at all this time by. We've got 13 laps remaining here in Richmond. 13 laps to go as these drivers work their way around. Looks like Janik maybe lost a little bit to Christian Barnes that time, Chris. And one thing that we need to talk about, and I think this is going to be a story we follow further into the final 4 races of these playoffs, Christian Barnes, man, I think in our hype video for the playoffs for the last league we broadcast with Christian Barnes, he lies in the weeds, essentially waiting to strike it. And that's what he does not only just during the races, but also in the championship picture, just kind of coming out of nowhere, calm, cool, and collected, just kind of, under the radar much of the season. But when it counts, this 27 is absolutely lights out.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Just nice, calm, cool, collected, just real steady. Don't see him make a whole lot of mistakes. He's just real, smooth out there on the track. And yeah, he's definitely somebody that, he's under the radar, but you're going to have to go through him if you want to win this championship. And I wouldn't want to do that, especially when you consider that the championship race, Ellis, is at Phoenix, which shares a lot of characteristics with this track here. I suspect that you see a lot of the same drivers who have been fast tonight will be fast at Phoenix as well.
Christian Barnes got a little bit of the wall there. You saw it, and Evan Janik is right there, just half a car length off the back bumper, now with 9 laps left. Less than 10 laps left. One car having trouble a little bit further back through the pack, and boy, he is right there, Chris, on the back bumper. Christian Barnes having more pressure put on them than he has all night up at the front. Barnes now just doing everything he can to hang on to the lead with a hard-charging Evan Janik, who really, Chris, I would think we would consider him now another championship favorite if he were to lock himself in with a win here in the final round.
Yeah, absolutely. He would definitely be a championship favorite. If he makes the round of 6, championship round, he's definitely going to be somebody that you're also going to have to go through if you want to win the championship. And I really like what I'm seeing right here off of turn 4. He has got some good momentum off of that corner, turning down the hill a little bit later than Christian Barnes. And yeah, not saving anything now, Ellis. This is not the time to save. This is time to let it all hang out, and both these drivers are doing that now.
Both of these drivers just going for it. Just now, we are hitting the 6 laps left mark. As Barnes might have gotten a little bit of the wall there, folks, it is on the line. A battle for the lead begins. Evan Janik to the inside. Christian Barnes could not close the door. We've seen this song and dance multiple times tonight. That high line can hold off a pass for a little while. He's going to have to hold it off for 5 laps. Is Christian Barnes up to the challenge?
Yeah, Evan Janik has been so good off of turn 4 right there. You see it right there. They get really close down the front stretch, close down here into turn 1, leaning on each other. Evan Janik trying to get the momentum off of turn 2, but he's sideways.
Janik sideways, contact in turns 1 and 2. Will we see more in here? Janik runs about a lane up. Christian Barnes gives him plenty of room, maybe learning his lesson from turn 1. Barnes is going to clear him back for the lead. Janik's going to have to cool those tires down and try again. He's got just 4 laps left. Was that his only swing? Was that his only grenade left in the launcher? Does he have more as they head down into turn number 3?
I think he's got a little bit more. He's closing right up on the back bumper of that 27. Doesn't want to make contact. Wants to complete this pass clean. He is all over Christian Barnes right here. But Ellis, you saw it right there as they get 3 laps to go at the line here. Catching them is one thing, passing them is another. And it's so hard to do here without making contact.
And look at the change in lines for Janik, Chris. Entering a little bit higher. A little bit of a bump from the front bumper of Janik. Delivered to the back bumper. It gets the 27 out of shape. Janik's going to move to the inside, and he is going to assume the lead down into turn 1. But Barnes will fight back. 2 laps left in Richmond.
Yeah, Barnes drove that thing deep into turn 1 right there to try to keep position on the outside of Evan Janik. What's Janik going to do right here down into turn 3? Is he going to run him up the hill? Doesn't look like it right there. They're pretty clean right there as they work their way off of turn 4 and get the white flag.
Drag race down into turn 1. The white flag is in the air. 1 lap left. Janik on the inside. Last week's winner, Barnes, on the outside. Will contact ensue? We've seen it happen so far. Down into turn 3. Janik drives it hard. Tries the slide job and pulls in front of Christian Barnes. Barnes swings back for the crossover, but it's not enough. Janik wins in Richmond.
What a race. What a move by Evan Janik into turn 3. Drove it in deep. Performed the slide job to expert precision right there and got the checkered flag.
Wow, slide job indeed. Boy, I've been wanting to say that one for a while, and he made it easy there, Chris. I didn't know if he was going to clear Christian Barnes or not, but he was going for it regardless. Chat's coming in right now. What a finish. Hell yes. Great finish. Janik has it. What a race. Thank you for everyone for watching and throwing those comments in. We'll hear from those drivers in a minute, but normally we would do a giveaway after the conclusion of the race, folks, but I want to let you know all your chats have been entered into one big hat, and tomorrow morning we're going to draw. It's combined with all the viewers and comments from last night's SRL race. We'll make sure to post a community note in YouTube, but you can also make sure to follow our Instagram page, which is linked in the video description. Search for us at Slingshot Racing on Instagram. We'll post that tomorrow and get in touch with you if you are the winner. Watching Evan Janik, the winner tonight here, burning it down on the front straightaway. It was Janik, Barnes, and Cochran, your top 3. And Chris, I think we're going to be talking about those names for many, many races to come as we get deeper into the playoffs here. A good night for Brett Bieber and Michael Cole. Let's go ahead and run it through the running order tonight and see where your favorite drivers wound up at the end of the Commonwealth 150 laps night, and they were all hard fought. Janik, Barnes, and Cochran first through third. Brett Bieber, Chris, great run for that number 32. Led some laps tonight, had a strong car. Story of the night for me, though, Michael Cole. Great run in that number 43. Do not count him out as a driver who can't drive his way into the final round of 3 races and 6 drivers for the championship. Cody Riggs in 12th, and another impressive performance for the 12 machine who finished 6th. And shout out, I know we got a lot of Dustin Lewis fans in the chat. That driver in the number 33. Impressive run. Top 10 most of the night. Brings it home 7th. Hard-fought battle indeed. Tyler Gbon, saw him have some trouble, get hooked later on in the race, but fights back through adversity for an 8th place finish. Adam Pettit, Chris, the story of what could have been. Choose rule too late, got sent to the back with the black flag and got collected in an incident that caused him some heavy damage. And then Ryan Bittler brings it home 10th in that number 9 machine. Solid top 10 for the Bittler clan.
Yeah, absolutely great run right there for Ryan Bittler. We're going to look at 11 through 20 right here. Casey Bristow is going to finish in the 11th position tonight. We saw him in the midst of some chaos, but brings it home on the lead lap with a good run. Jerry Salita started up at the front of this thing. He's going to finish in 12th after inheriting the pole after, the pole sitter had to fall to the back of the field. Brandon Vees ran into some trouble tonight, was involved in a few incidents, will finish in the 13th position. Happy birthday to the 14th place finisher, Gino Volante, in the 35 car. Bradley Minor, yeah, and you see Donnie Honeycutt, his teammate, right behind him right there. Those two right there taken out in the same crash late in the going. Very unfortunate for that pair of teammates. Mark Cofield will finish in the 17th position. All these drivers you see right here ran into some trouble in that Travis Bieber crash, and there's Travis finishing in 18th. Brock Whiteman and Andy Berry are going to round out the field right there in the top 20.
Let's hear from our third place finisher, Jacob Cochran. You're live on Slingshot TV. You got a copy, brother.
Yes, sir.
Driver number 8 in the Fireball Robber. That was a Fireball Robbers throwback.
It was, right? Yeah. Home and Mini days.
Yeah. It was a good one. We love seeing the name above the driver name above the window rail there. So, man, congratulations on that third place finish. Hard fought. I know we're going to be talking to you probably again when it comes to this championship run. I know it's not a win that locks you in necessarily, but it does wonders for your chances of getting in. I want to talk to you about the walls tonight. I feel like I saw you make contact with that wall of next at turn 2 more than I saw any driver. I was wondering how many times you get away with that, but you seemingly got away with it all night long.
Yeah. We did. It was. I don't know. It was more or less like go time. In some scenarios with into stages or whatnot, and you just kind of come off a 2 and just hope it sticks. But track was it was extra slick tonight from not from the norm. So um, little weird, but we fought back for third.
Well, man, it was a great third place finish. Where'd you get that damage on the front end?
The restart, I guess, when I was starting behind Cole, that was what I was wondering because it like the car felt great. I mean, throughout the whole race. I mean, I felt like on the long run we had one of the better cars. Felt like we could kind of hold our own on the short run. Um, but yeah, after that restart, it just like I had no front grip. And so I was like, I gotta have damage. I gotta have damage. And yeah, I get out of the car and it's all crinkled in. I'm like, well, geez, that'll do it.
Well, hey, a third place finish, nothing to hang your head about tonight. We're headed to Talladega next week. I feel like we've seen you get a win at Talladega before. Are you looking forward to your chances there, or is it just a crapshoot?
Not normally. You have to be very lucky, and I am not. Um, so we'll just kind of see how it goes. Try to be there at the end. I've I've run super speedway races, in the back, in the front, in the middle, and it never goes well. So um, we'll see what happens. We just main thing. I mean, we'll see where the points are at, but main thing probably just try to keep it out of trouble, and we should be fine. So we'll try to get through that and look forward to the next round.
Well, man, before we let you go, any shout outs for the fans and family watching at home?
Yeah, first shout out you guys, Slingshot Booth. You guys always do a great job, and we appreciate you. And shout out to my team, Barry Performance Racing, Andy Barry and Michael Cole. Michael Cole, I don't know where he finished tonight,
Fifth.
but fifth. Okay. Well, he was having some computer issues, so he did not get any practice in at all. So fifth place for that kind of track in those conditions was pretty good. So um, and then shout out Downtown Auto Sales for the series, and shout out Evan. Good win for him tonight. He's been fighting hard for it, and so he got him tonight. So that was a good race. I enjoyed. It was bad because I was sitting back there third, couldn't do anything with him, but I was like, this is pretty cool. I get to watch them go for it. Kind of hoping that they would get into it a little bit and I could sneak in there, but it didn't work. But we'll move on.
Hey, man, well, we enjoyed watching it. We'll look forward to seeing you next week at Talladega. Go celebrate that third place finish.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Absolutely, you too. Well, before we interview second place, Chris, I know you caught up with him. I do want to mention, though, that we are going to be live again this Saturday. We got a full-length Daytona 500. It's 3 combined leagues, kind of a league clash, if you will, but it's a full 500 miles at Daytona, getting us ready for that real Daytona 500 in just a couple of weeks. I know you're not going to be there, Chris, but I'm going to be there, and I gotta work myself up for that one. 500 miles in the booth is going to be interesting. But folks, you can tune in. We're going to have plenty of giveaways during that thing. So if you're watching, make sure you tune in Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for the start of that race. We'll be doing giveaways throughout the race, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a great one. So Chris, I know you did catch up with our second place finisher, Christian Barnes. He is in the booth right now with you.
All right, yeah, let's bring him in right here. Christian Barnes, driver of the 27, our second place finisher tonight. This is the Slingshot booth. You got a copy? Uh-oh. I don't know if we can hear him right
he's
here.
Got
Christian,
a muted sign on there.
Yeah, Christian Barnes. We'll see if we can hear from him right here. We would love to hear from him.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there he is. All right, man. Hey, congratulations on a great run tonight. I know that you wanted to bring home another win, making it 2 in a row, but man, you had a heck of a battle right there with Evan Janik in the closing laps, and man, you raced your guts out trying to hold on to the win right there. Take me back to with about 2 laps to go. You guys made a little contact off of turn. It was down into turn 3, the 60 into the back of you. Tell me your thoughts right there on how everything transpired from that point forward.
Yeah, it was kind of a range of emotions, to be honest. I'm already locked in, but at the same time, I want to get another win to help me in the next round. So when I got hit there, that split second was like, oh, I'm gonna get him back if he gets by me. But then the other part of me was like, I was able to save it. I was able to, stay side by side. So I just had to do my best to race the next, few corners. And I was just, kind of expecting more of that, of the door banging and, stuff like that. But I was able to somewhat, weirdly be angry and calm all at the same time in just a matter of a few seconds.
Yeah, it is difficult here on a short track, especially to keep your emotions in check. But yeah, you did a great job of that right there. And you get, like you said, you guys raced side by side for those last couple laps, door handle right there. Into turn 3, it seemed like the Evan did a little bit of a slide job on you right there, kind of drove it in deep right there, ran you up the hill. Do you feel like everything was fair, on that last lap with everything that happened right there? Or can you live with everything that happened in the closing stages?
Yeah, I mean, we're good. I mean, we race hard and clean all the time. I mean, yeah, there's going to be rubbing, there's going to be banging, but I mean, at the end of the day, we both kept we kept the car straight. We didn't wreck. Neither of us spun. We both still got 1-2. So, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. We both into the next round. He came into my chat and apologized, and he actually said, he was like, yeah, I probably would have, been okay if I did get back into him in the final corner, but we're perfectly fine. We race hard, we race clean. On to the next round.
Yeah, you love to hear that right there. It was definitely entertaining for us right there, and definitely some good hard racing between 2 tough competitors. We're looking forward to seeing you next week as we hit Talladega. Are you planning on being there? Looking forward to hitting the high banks next week?
Yeah, I should definitely be there. I mean, I'm just glad that I'm already in, because Talladega is definitely going to be it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. It never disappoints here with you guys, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week at Talladega. Before we let you go celebrate this second place finish tonight, do you have any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, I want to shout out my team, Waterfirst Racing, with Gavin and all the other guys, especially Gavin making my paint schemes. I appreciate him with that. I just want to thank y'all for broadcasting.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate it. And yeah, that is an awesome looking paint scheme. And it's been up at the front here a lot lately, and we have no doubt it will be for the rest of the season. Congratulations on your second place finish. That's Christian Barnes, and we're going to let you go celebrate it. Have a good night,
Thank
man.
you very much. You as well.
Thank you.
All right, we've caught up with the winner, Evan Janik. I'll try to pull him into the chat here. There we go. Evan Janik, this is Ellis, Chris, and Cam in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man. Well, congratulations on the win. You worked hard for that one tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of hard racing, and thought the harder part was going to be catching him, and I was able to catch him a lot sooner than I thought, but he ran the lines perfect and definitely didn't make it easy.
We talked to Christian a little bit about that late race contact, and he was fine with it. He said that's just part of racing. He said y'all talked in post race for a few moments, and I was impressed. Was the slide job planned, or did that just happen kind of in the heat of the moment in that final corner?
No, he actually, I just watched it back, checked up to try to cross me over, which I thought I kind of gave the race away right there, not just sending him up the track, but yeah, no, I thought that I made contact with him, and it was actually a big shock when I heard him come back to my inside, and was just hoping I was able to edge out across the line.
Well, man, it was impressive to watch. It was fun to call. Absolutely. I want to talk to you about your runs on your long run speed. I guess we were talking about last night. You did you learn anything last night running with SRL at Richmond? I know the setups were a little bit different, but did that translate into anything tonight on track?
I thought it would, but it really didn't, because this one was a fixed setup from iRacing, and I believe yours, if I'm not mistaken, was a setup from somewhere else, and so they
Yep.
handled completely different. Last night it would build loose. This one it would build tight, so I had to run the same line but enter the corner very differently. So um, a lot of practice today, making sure I put yesterday behind me and move forward to today.
Man, we're heading into Talladega next week. I know you got to be glad to be locked in and not have to chase a win next week at Talladega.
I'm thrilled. I'm so glad. Um, I have never had good luck at Talladega. I think the luckiest I've ever been was on Slingshot for your Thanksgiving race, where I ended up missing that big wreck, which I still watch from time to time because I, I still get a kick out of it. But I'm glad to not have to worry about it. I can be aggressive with points and helping teammates to try to help them advance, and then give myself a good cushion for the championship round.
Man, we'll be looking for you next week out there at Talladega. Before we let you go celebrate this win that locks you into the final round of the playoffs, do you have any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, thanks to Black Diamond Designs for making all of my paints. Black Diamond Motorsports, it's a lot of fun racing with everybody. And the Berry Bunch tonight. Thanks to Christian again. I mean, he had multiple opportunities to return the favor, but he didn't. So I'm very thankful for him. And thanks to everybody watching at home and you guys for putting on a great broadcast. Can't wait to watch back.
Absolutely. We love every minute of it. Go celebrate that victory, my friend. Evan Janik, winner tonight at Richmond.
Thanks, guys.
Well, boys, that was fun. That was quite the finish that we saw there. We're headed to the final four races of the season. It's going to be Talladega, Nashville, Atlanta, and Phoenix for the championship race. One race left in the round of 12. We'll set those points up for you next week at the pre-race show coming into Talladega. Live racing is not done this week, though, for Slingshot Racing TV. We're also broadcasting this Saturday, a full 500 miles. Make sure you tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have giveaways for that. It's the NASCAR, the current NASCAR cars, the Cup Series cars racing for 500 miles. And Chris, that's a full field. There are going to be 40 drivers on track for that thing. We're going to pack the house. Hopefully we can pack the chat for that as well. Any last thoughts before we shut it down for tonight?
What an amazing race, from the drop of the green flag. I love seeing the long green flag running that we saw tonight. We did have some incidents right there in the final stage, which is to be expected on a short track, especially with everything that's on the line. And seeing two of the best that this league right here has to offer, Christian Barnes and Evan Janik battling it out for the win, and hearing that everybody's really cool with what happened. I really like that. It can be difficult, like in the heat of the moment, to be a little bit upset with some contact, but it's short track racing. Sometimes that happens. Not everything is on purpose, and I really liked what I heard right there in the post race from both drivers. And man, I'm looking forward to next week at Talladega. Looking forward also to Saturday, also to keep my eyes on this Daytona 500 that's going to be called right here on Slingshot TV. And man, it's all kinds of great things happening right here on Slingshot TV over the next week.
It is. It's a hub for all sorts of racing. We got late models again on Monday. That's been a fun series to watch, and we've got the Grand National Series for Slingshot Racing next week. I believe we are headed to Auto Club. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So lots of racing going on, folks. Many nights a week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. Share it with a friend as well. And I think that's going to do it for us tonight here from Richmond, Virginia. It was an amazing race. It was an amazing finish that we didn't know who the winner was going to be until the final corner of the race. Hopefully, we'll have another finish like that Saturday and many more in the future. Folks, I hope you have a great night, a great week. We're going to shut it down for this evening. We'll talk to you all later. Bye for now.